In this next part, we're going to talk about factoring by grouping. Grouping usually works when you have an even amount of terms. So let's take a look at this example. 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 4 terms. So you could do grouping. And again, grouping is just a factoring technique. It's not guaranteed because it depends on what kind of terms you have here, or what kind of terms you have within the problem. So if you have an even amount, then you can try factoring by grouping. Now if you are going to do factor by grouping, what we usually do is we split the sides in half. So over here, since I have 4 terms, I'm going to use these are my left terms, and then these 2 are my right terms. And then what we're going to do here is basically what we did in the previous part, factored by GCF, but we're going to do it 2 times because we're going to do GCF for the left side and then GCF for the right side. So take a look at the 2 terms on the left. We have 6ax and 8x. Now the coefficient 6 and 8, they're both divisible by 2, and they both have x, so we're going to include x in our GCF, so 2x for both terms. 6ax divided by 2x will be 3, because 6 divided by 2, and then I have my a, x divided by x is just 1, plus, because it's a positive 8x divided by a positive 2x, that would simply be 4. Alright, now on my right side, we have negative 15a minus 20. If we take a look at the numbers, 15 and 20, they're both divisible by 5, so we're going to put 5 underneath. Now, if you're looking at the right side, if the first term on the right side is a negative, then we should divide both terms by negative. So I'm not dividing both terms by 5 anymore. I'm actually dividing both terms by negative 5 because the first term on the right side is negative, so I'm going to divide both terms by negative. So this will be my GCF, minus 5. So negative 15a divided by negative 5, that will be 3a, and then negative 20 divided by negative 5 will be a positive 4. Alright, so let me rewrite this one, and again I wrote out the 1 because I did x divided by x. So 3 times a times 1 is simply 3a, and I just have plus 4. And here's my GCF. And then let me bring down the right side, minus 5, 3a plus 4. Alright, notice how inside the parenthesis that I just underlined, they're the same. So they're exactly the same, both positive, 3a, 3a, and over here, both positive, plus 4, plus 4. So if the inside of the parentheses are exactly the same number, same variable, same sign, then we're going to group the outside GCFs, the 2x and minus 5 together in one parenthesis. So 2x right here, minus 5 right here, put in parenthesis, and then write out the 2 common parentheses, 3a plus 4, just one time. And that's all we have to do. So, to review factoring by grouping, we split the terms in half since there's an even amount. Left side by the GCF of 2x, right side the GCF is negative 5. After I finish factoring by grouping, or taking out the GCF, I notice that both parentheses have the exact same term, 3a plus 4, so I put the GCF, the 2x minus 5, into one group with parentheses, so 2x minus 5, and then the other group, I just bring it down and wrote it out once, 3a plus 4. And that's our final answer. Alright, in this example, we have 35m to the 5th plus 15m to the 3rd x squared minus 14m squared x to the 4th, and then minus 6x to the 6th power. So let's count how many terms we have. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we could try factoring by grouping on this example because we have an even amount of terms. So let's split it in half. So this is going to be my left side, and then these two I'm underlined will be my right side. Alright, so let's take a look at the left side. 35 and 15, they're both divisible by 5, so I'm going to put 5 underneath. They also both have m, so I'm going to put m. So let's take a look at their exponent, m to the 5th and m to the 3rd. Between the 5th and the 3rd, we're going to use the lowest exponent, which is the 3rd. So I'm dividing the left side by 5m to the 3rd on both of these terms. So I'm going to write it outside here of the parenthesis. So 35 divided by 5 will be 7. M to the 5th divided by m to the 3rd. So basically, I'm going to subtract the exponent, 5 minus 3, which is 2. And then positive 15 divided by 5 will be a positive 3. M to the 3rd divided by m to the 3rd is 1. So I could put the 1 here, but I don't really have to. I did it for the other examples to show what happens, and when you multiply, it just comes out the same thing. So here you can put the 1, but you don't have to. And then I'm left with the x squared, and since I didn't divide the x squared with anything, I'm just going to bring it down here. And then close parenthesis. Now let's take a look at the right side. 14 and 6, they are both divisible by 2 because they're even numbers. And both of them have x, so I'm going to divide both terms by x. This term only has an m, so I'm not dividing by both terms by m because only the first one has it, but not the second one. Now for the x, the first one is x to the 4th, and the second one is x to the 6th. So when we're dividing by both x, we're going to use the smallest exponent, which is the 4th. So right now, our GCF is 2x to the 4th. And if we closely examine our right side, the first term of the right side is a negative, so I'm actually dividing both terms by a negative. So now our GCF is negative 2x to the 4th, which I'm going to write down here. Alright, so negative 14 divided by negative 2 will be a positive 7. And then, since I'm not dividing m squared with anything else, with another m, I'm just going to bring it down, so m squared. Now here, x to the 4th divided by x to the 4th, that becomes 1. I could put it down here, but if I do, I'm just simply multiplying to the 7m squared, which will be basically the same thing. So I'm not going to write the 1. I'm going to move on to the next term. Negative 6 divided by negative 2 is a positive 3, so I'm going to write plus 3 here. X to the 6 divided by x to the 4th, I'm going to subtract the exponent, 6 minus 4, which is x to the 2nd power, and then close parenthesis. So let's take a look at what's inside the parenthesis. Over here, I have 7m squared plus 3x squared. And then over here, I also have 7m squared and then plus 3x squared. So they're both exactly the same. So since they're exactly the same, then I'm going to put our GCF together in one group. So 5m to the 3rd minus 2x to the 4th in parentheses, and then I put what I just underlined here. I'm going to write it once, so 7m squared plus 3x squared, and parentheses. So here's my factors using the factor by grouping. Now to review, make sure to, when you're dividing by the same variable, you use the lowest exponent, and if the first term on the right side or on the left side starts off with negative, then your GCF is best to be divided by negative. If not, then these two that I underlined here may not be exactly the same. Again, if all the terms inside the parentheses where I underlined are exactly the same number, same variable, same sign, then you can group the outside GCFs together. If not, then you may continue, or you may have to do extra steps, or you cannot go on. Just make sure that on the inside the parentheses is same number, same variable, same signs.